Hi there, Stampers. This is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations here with today's live. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I go live right here on Facebook and YouTube every Monday and Thursday with some sort of a fun fold card. And I think you're really going to love today's. We're doing a sliding lock card, and I originally did one, and I know I've got to take Mark to physical therapy right after this, so I did it kind of quick, and then I thought maybe I did it too quick. So I've got a second card, also with the sliding lock technique, and I can't wait to show you how it's done. So here we are down on my desk, and here's today's card, and it's got the sliding lock, which means you can't open it until you slide this off, and then it opens like this. So what we're going to work on is this little locking mechanism in the back. And so that's how it's going to slide over our card. And then I've got a second one that I did a different way. And so there's this one, and it slides off this direction, and it uses little squares. So if we have enough time, we'll get to this one, but we're definitely making this one with the Attention Shoppers bundle. And so this is one I haven't used yet, and I had seen somebody had done a Target card on Pinterest, and I couldn't find it again. And so I just Googled the shopping cart from Target, and I kind of followed along with the photos I found of them online to kind of create my own. So here is our bundle. As I said, it's called Attention Shoppers. We're mostly using the dies. And I did my die cutting ahead of time. So we're going to start out with our card base. So this one is 8.5 by 5.5, and we scored at 2 1/8 inch from either side. So I have 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. And then I stuck it in the trimmer. And then I see this brown track in here. I put it up against the edge of that brown track, and I scored some off or cut some off. And so it left me a gap in the middle. So you can't really see with the red on red, but if I put this in, you'll see there's kind of a white gap down the middle, and that's what I was going for. I wanted a little track for the lock to slide up and down in. So inside is a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4. And then I've got these on the outside, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And this is our generic color family designer series paper. And so this is a pack of 48 sheets of designer series paper in a color family. So you would order the brights, the regals, the subtles, and they've got some great patterns in there. And I thought the circles just played along great with the Target idea. So I've got a pack of the regals here. This is what I was using. And so you get 4 sheets of each color, 2 of each pattern. So there's this one with the stripes, and then there's this one with the circles. And so you get 4 of each color of the 12 colors, which makes up your 48 sheets. Yes, I did trim both sides. But that's why it's only just a little teeny bit of a hair that I took off. I had some leftover designer series paper, so I kept an extra length we're going to use over here on the side. So let's go ahead and put those together just to get things started and simplified. I feel like I'm not quite in the camera. Okay, so I'm going to say shopping is always a good idea. And I'm lining it up on the grid and then setting my block down to pick it up. And we're using real red. That's one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! Is that if you get real red in the ink, the marker, the designer series paper, the cardstock, anything, all the shades are going to match. And if you ever run out of something, you don't have to worry about die lots and things like you would at a regular store, because they're all going to match, which is fabulous, especially when you're scrapbooking, because you don't want to run out of a certain color if you're in the middle of a layout, or if you're making a series of cards and you want them all to match. And then our designer series papers will use the same colors. So if you get a pack of designer series paper, you want to flip it over and look at the back side, and it's going to tell you what colors are used in there, so you know which ink and cardstock to grab to make your card. It kind of like simplifies the whole process. That's what brought me to Stampin' Up! In the first place. Just don't want to put glue on the wrong side. Okay, so there's our basic card base, and we have it decorated. Okay, so that's not much different than most of the other cards we've made, other than the little shave we did down the front. Now we're going to play around with the little locking mechanism and our focal point. So the focal point is the shopping cart. And so I used my Stylish Shapes dies, and I cut out a circle, the largest circle in the real red, and then the next size down with the basic white. And then I used our 2-inch circle punch, and I punched out 3 of the circles. And these are going to be our, what did I say, our locking mechanism. Yes, I do like the glass mat. I've been using it for a while now. Before I had the glass mat, I had a foam piece. You know, the fun foam you can get at the stores, and they sell it in the large pieces that are about the same size as our grid paper. What's that, 11 by 14? And I would have to have that underneath my stamping surface in order to get a good impression with the photopolymer stamps. And now that I have the glass mat, I don't have to worry about that. I get a nice, clear impression using the glass mat under my stamping, and there's no foam pad needed at all. And of course, because it's a nice slick surface, if I'm using my blending brushes or any kind of medium that needs a slick surface, it's good for that too. It does very easy cleanup. It has the grid on it. You can write on it with a dry erase marker, and it just wipes right off. Or you can write on it with a Sharpie, and it comes off with alcohol, rubbing alcohol to get it off. So it's very useful. I highly recommend the glass mat. And it's now available to customers, which it wasn't originally. So you can find that in our online exclusives online. And Stampin' Up! Does quite a bit online nowadays. That stuff is not available in a catalog. So you're going to want to check that out every once in a while, especially when I mention there's new stuff out there, because they've come out with some really great stuff. And they're promising us they're going to do better about inventory on them, because there's no retirement period. So they don't have to worry about having excess left over. They can just leave it in the online store until they run out. So it should last a little longer and not run out, which has been nice, because we got the Latte Love and the Xenia back in, I want to say March. And we can still get the designer series paper for those, which I find really helpful. When I cut out the shopping cart, I used these 2 dies. So of course the bottom I did in smoky slate. This one I did in red. And then I laid this die on an edge of some basic smoky slate, or basic gray, I guess. And just cut off the top. And all of them have adhesive sheet behind them. So all I need to do is peel off the backing. And if you don't have fingernails, then you want to take your pick tool, because that would work awesome for peeling that off. And the top of their shopping cart has gray, and then the stuff on the bottom is gray. So that's how I came up with that, was matching my photo online. Oh, and I have a shopping bag. So let's go ahead and color this real quick. So I'm using the Cherry Cobbler, actually. They're a little bit darker of a red. And I'm going to start by flicking on the edge. Towards the middle. And when you flick, it kind of gives you that taper that you're looking for in the ombre shading that our Stampin' blends give us. Then I'm going to use the dark to also color in the shaded parts of our handle here. Then I'm going to come back in with the light. And we're going to color over the other part. And you may have noticed when I was using that dark and I was flicking with the end, it wasn't mushy. Some of the Stampin' blends, when you get them, the tip is kind of mushy and they have a tendency to go south a little quickly. But I have a video on my YouTube channel that shows you how you can change out the tip into something that's a little more sturdy. And then I have a link for those tips on my website, where you can go find them on Amazon. My friend Alyssa turned me on to those. She's in Australia, and she found them, and then I copied from her. So if you're in Australia, I have a friend you can shop with. She's pretty awesome. And she has a Facebook group called Blends and Beyond, where she teaches how to color. And then she also has some classes you can buy that are really cheap. Like I just bought her last one, and it was, I think, $6 US dollars. So they're very reasonable. Okay, you want to remember that we are currently doing bonus days. And so just for the next week or so, a little over a week, you have a chance to spend $50 and earn $5 that you can spend next month. And if you haven't done that yet, I have a surprise. Stampin' Up! Has just announced that we're doing a free shipping tomorrow. So if you place an order over $75 tomorrow, they will ship that to you for free, and you still earn your bonus days coupons. So it's a fabulous time to shop. And when you do that, I would appreciate if you choose me as your demonstrator. Okay, so I took 2 of the circles and I just scored in the middle and folded them in half. And then I'm going to glue them onto the back of this with the 2 score lines together. So I'm going to butt them together in the middle. And I'm gluing them directly on the back of my focal point. You could, if you want to, just glue them to another 2-inch circle and then glue them to your focal point. But to me, it was just another extra layer that I didn't need. Thank you, Kathy, for remembering everyone about the thumbs up. That is very helpful to me in being seen within the algorithm in YouTube, so I can be shared with more people. And then you want to put in hashtag Prize Patrol, because when you're watching live, if you do that, you get a chance to earn today's card to be mailed to you. So after I've got the 2 on there, and they're just, like I said, with the score lines together, so we have little wings, and then I'm going to set this one on top. So it's still going to allow those wings to open, but it's going to seal them together. And then the first time you go to put it on your card, it can be a little stiff, but after you've worked with it for a while, it does slide right on. But you're going to want to start at the top, and then you want each side to go under one of those little flaps. And then it's just going to slide right down. So there is our card number 1. And it looks like I do have time to show you card number 2. So, I mean, it looks complicated, but it's not. Oh, and my little Target logo. I'm using some retired punches. I know, I'm sorry, but I used a 1/2 inch circle and then the 3/8 inch circle, which is actually something I bought on Amazon. And this is on my website under the things I recommend, because it's the exact right size that you need to put labels on the ends of your blends. I sell the labels in my tutorial store, and then you print them out on sticky paper, and then you punch them out with the 3/8 inch circle punch. And then the front was done with a 1/4 inch, just a regular hole punch. So those are the 3 circles I used to create my little Target logo. Just in case you were wondering. I think most of us have the hole punch, the regular 1/4 inch hole punch, sitting around our craft room somewhere. Oops. Okay, well, anyway, that will go right there. It's got sticky paper on the back, but it's fighting with me, so I will do that off camera. So that's our card. Because I want to get on to this second one and show you this one. So this bundle here that I'm using on the front is the Sophisticated Sled. And so there is a stamp set and a set of dies that go with it. I really just use the dies for the card I'm making, because I didn't stamp the flowers. Come on, where'd I put it? I had it right under my nose. Here we go. So here is our little bundle of pieces for this one. So we're starting out again with kind of a standard card base, but it's folded differently. So this is, again, 1/2 of a sheet of 8.5 by 11. It is 4 1/4 by 11. And then it's scored 2 3/4 inch from either side. So 2 3/4 and then 8 1/4 makes it fold together and meet in the middle. And this one, you can see when I meet it in the middle, see how they touch? That's not leaving us room for the track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And like I said, we're going to put it right up to the edge of that brown track. And I'm taking off a sliver. So, I mean, it's next to nothing that I'm removing. Just enough to let the lock slide up and down in there. So, I mean, just the littlest bit. Now, when I fold this together, we have our track. Okay. So once again, we have just the pieces that go on the front. So this is 4 by 2.5. I have 2 of them. These I'm using the Winter Meadow Designer Series paper. I liked the back of this, just the very neutral, I don't want to say it's a pattern, but this very neutral back to them. Okay, so there's that. And then we have our focal point that's going to go in the middle. So these are 3" by 4¼ So 2¾ by 4. So that's going to be our focal point for the front. And I don't know if you can notice, but I dry embossed on designer series paper. This is out of that Winter Meadow. If you've seen it, there's trees along the bottom in kind of a gray tone. That has trees and I think a deer in it. And then there's this blank white spot in the middle. And so I just cut that out and used that as my layer and then dry embossed on it because I liked the little gray tone in the background. The color of the base of this card, this one's Night of Navy. The designer series paper is called Winter Meadow. Oh, the score blade. I have a generic score blade because mine fell out and I lost it. And one of my teammates had been at one of the big box stores. And I guess this trimmer is made by somebody else and then they brand it to us. So that fit in there. I'm sorry I don't know the name of it because it was a gift. But we can order replacement scoring blades from Stampin' Up! Now. At the time she gifted it to me, we couldn't. I'm trying to check for comments. I apologize if I miss one. It's not intentional. So if you posted a question and I didn't answer it, please ask it again. Okay, so for this lock, I have a strip of cardstock that is 2" by 8". Eek. Let's see. And it's scored at 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. And so basically it's just giving us 2 little sections we're going to fold in half and then 2 that are going to stay together. So we're going to fold into this one. So see where our score lines are butted up in the middle? Is those 2 will fold together and then this one's going to close over the top. So this is using a strip. I have not seen generic replacement blades for the old trimmer. That would be nice. Somebody told me what the brand name of the trimmer we have now, but I don't remember it. If you wanted to do this with just 4 2x2 squares, you can do that as well. It would be the same way we did the circles, is that you would have the 2 that were folded in half and then either 1 or 2 that are going to be on either side, holding them together. But the basic gist is you just want it to be able to have the 2 sides that will slide down as our lock. And then I just did a very simple sled with the dies from the sophisticated sled. And I used, again, the adhesive sheets so that they just peel off and become stickers. When you are working with the wood part, you want to make sure that you're taking out these little pieces so that it looks like wood slats instead of a solid piece of wood. And then there's little rivet holes that I'm going to want to pop out as well, because these show where it would connect to the lead rails. And the silver will shine through those little holes. So you want to make sure you're popping all of those little things out. And then again, it has adhesive sheet. There we So the way I line this up is I'm lining the bottom rivet with the bottom rail. And that makes the top rivet hit the top rail. Does that make sense? And then the cross member, the part you would hold on to as you're sledding, goes across the top. There we go. And again, I'm lining up those little rivet holes with the silver foil. And so there's our sled. And here is our lock. And as I said, we want it to kind of open up that way. And then as it slides on, it'll slide right in between there. Okay, and then all we need to do is put our adhesive on here and attach our focal point. I see someone's watching from Germany. That's kind of exciting. I don't speak any German at all, but hopefully just watching shows her the idea of how that all goes together. But there is card number 2. And here is card number 1 of our sliding lock card. So that was today's project. I hope you enjoyed it. Both cards are the standard size. They're the finished size is 5.5 by 4.25. Both of them. They're just cut in a different direction, but both are a half sheet of our 8.5 by 11. Because I want everything to fit in our medium size envelopes, right? Okay, I do know what I'm doing on Thursday. Thursday, we're doing a double-decker card. I don't know if you've heard of those before, but this is how they open, as they have the 2 layers. So this is what we'll do on Thursday, and then next Monday, we're going to be doing this cute little toolbox. I still need to add some tools to it, but you get the idea. It's going to be fun. So I hope you loved today's project and that you put in hashtag prize patrol so that you are entered into the drawing, because I'm getting ready to spin the wheel and see who our winner is. And you can choose whether or not you want the sled or the Target shopping cart. I'm willing to send you either one. Let's see, any questions? Just kind of scrolling backward, trying to see if I missed anything. I don't know if you're watching on YouTube, if you turn on your closed captioning, if it would show in your language. Like if you're watching a German video and you are in the US speaking English, if you turned on closed captioning, if it would show you captions in German or if they would be in English because that's your country. I'm not really sure, but that's a good thing to look into. Okay, so I think I've stalled long enough for everybody who have entered in hashtag prize patrol. And we're ready to spin our wheel. Look at that. We made 2 cards, fun folds even, in half an hour. Pixie is behind me. She's curled up in her little bed. I have 2 little round beds that are a crown. And so she's sleeping there. And Sophie is upstairs taking care of Mark, who is in his chair. He had his knee replacement surgery last Wednesday. So we're about 5 days in. And he's doing really well. I'm actually kind of jealous. He's up and moving so well compared to what I was after my shoulder surgery. Okay. 24 entries. Awesome. So Loretta is our winner. Congratulations, Loretta. What you're going to want to do is go over to my website, queenbeecreations.net, and then up in the address bar where you typed that in, you're going to add /prize patrol to the end, and it will take you to a Google form where you can give me your address as to where you want your prize mailed to and which card that you want. So let me know in the little comments section if you want the Target shopping cart or the sled. What do you think? Should I do a second one so that whichever one she does not pick, somebody gets the other card? What do you think? Should I mail out 2 of them this week? You can give the wheel another spin and it will pick someone else. Let's see. Draw again. Helene is our second winner. Congratulations, Helene. So now we have 2 winners. Loretta gets first choice because she won first, and then Helene will get whichever one is left over. But you both get a sliding lock card mailed to you. So congratulations. Thank you for watching, and thank you to everyone who's been buying my Fun Fold tutorial books. I am super excited about how well they are selling. I now have 2 of them out there. So they have these you can opt to have them printed and spiral bound, and they have full directions and diagrams and measurements and all that good stuff ready to go. So thank you so much, and I will see you on Thursday. Thank you so much. Bye.